Hello fellow hobby nerd, it is I, Solar Cross, and in this video we are going to consider 7 of the less obvious reasons to stop doing the Warhammer hobby, or indeed any tabletop wargaming, and many of these reasons also apply to video games. I say the 7 less obvious reasons because of course the most obvious reason is the financial costs of the hobby, which is sort of an obvious one we all think about. But in this video I want to concentrate on 7 less obvious reasons because, well, they're less obvious and you may not have thought of them. And it is a good idea whenever there is an activity which threatens to draw us in and take our time and money to think about not just the pros but also the negative aspect, the cons if you will. So the first less obvious reason to not do the Warhammer hobby is too much time indoors. Humans evolved for the great outdoors. However, civilization has increasingly seduced us into the small indoors, but it does not suit human physiology well. Too much time indoors has a proven impact on the health of the eyes, metabolism, and also the mind health. If one cannot help but be indoors for to earn one's living and to sleep, then the last opportunity to get some outside time is during our recreational activities. Warhammer, as a predominantly indoorsy recreational activity, rather works against this. Reason number 2, too much time sitting down. Closely related to the previous point, Warhammer is mostly a sit-down hobby, although the gaming side tends to involve some standing. Excessive sitting is every bit as poor for human health as being indoors. Sitting negatively impacts posture, metabolism, flexibility and muscle tone. Reason number 3, too little social contact. While the gaming side of the hobby will necessarily involve some direct social contact, albeit with other smelly nerds, most of the time is generally dumped into painting and modelling, which is usually a solitary pursuit, although it does not have to be. Many like the hobby exactly because of its introverted potential, of course. However, retreating from social contact due to autism and introversion is perhaps inferior to simply working harder at being better at social interaction. Humans are social animals, and a lot of our power comes from our ability to collaborate with other humans. Warhammer's solitary aspects enable social retreat. Reason number 4, not very transferable skills for practical concerns. In times of peace and plenty, a hobby's most important job is to alleviate boredom. Practical benefits are not so valuable. As our civilization is in a declining phase towards social instability, war, and declining prosperity, then recreational activities which develop practical skills that can be used to survive and thrive in challenging times are more valuable. A few examples: athletics, hunting, martial arts, DIY, camping, motor maintenance, hiking, brewing and gardening. Reason number 5, low romantic potential. Warhammer is less of a sausage fest than it used to be, but still the player base does skew heavily male. We hear a lot now of the epidemic of male loneliness, female loneliness, and declining birth rates. Warhammer is not the cause of any of this, but time sunk into it will not tend to solve it either. Almost any other hobby activity has more potential for meeting the opposite sex. For example, music, bars, pubs, the obvious things like that, and dancing. Really, anything that women also like to do has better romantic potential. This obviously does not apply so much if you are already in a romantic relationship. Reason number 6, useless property accumulation. There is a case to be made that the accumulation of nicely painted models is a kind of inflation hedging asset investment, akin to acquiring precious metals, fine wines, or works of art. However, to the counterpoint is that in uncertain times, any property accumulation that is not of direct utility, such as tools, vehicles, clothing, or weapons, represents a waste of resources and storage. Even in easy times, the point that the property you own ends up owning you still applies. Warhammer works contrary to the principles of minimalism. And the final 7th reason is escapism. The whole point of Warhammer is to escape from the ennui of a comfortable first world life. This could be argued to be unhealthy even in easy, prosperous times. However, as our times nosedive into difficulty and strife, then the more luxurious escapism becomes actually hazardous. Time not spent engaging with reality lessens overall survivability. There we go. These are my arguments against pursuing the Warhammer hobby, particularly in, let's say, more challenging times. Anyway, that's enough for today. Bye for now.